In 2025, Toyota recalled over 1 million vehicles in the US alone. Nearly 400,000 Tundras and Sequoias were included, mostly for engine, software, and safety-related faults. After years of working on Toyotas, this isn't a normal pattern. Modern Toyotas are heavier, more complex, and less forgiving. Failures start silently. No lights, no warnings, just wear and expensive fixes. This is why in this video, I'll tell you exactly why Toyota is going through this brand crisis and whether you should buy Toyotas anymore or not. Starting with the biggest 2 R's question: Toyota's reputation and reliability. Is Toyota still living off the reputation it built decades ago, or has something fundamentally changed? The answer isn't a simple yes or no. It depends on where you look, who you ask, and how deeply you understand the brand. From the perspective of someone who has spent an entire career working exclusively on Toyota and Lexus, diagnosing, repairing, and seeing failures up close, the reality sits somewhere in the middle. This isn't theory or internet commentary. This is based on years inside the engines, transmissions, and systems that define these cars. Toyota in the 1990s and early 2000s, the peak years. The 1990s and early 2000s were Toyota's golden era. That period produced the vehicles that built the brand's legendary status. Engines were overbuilt. Electronics were minimal. Lexus followed the same formula. Even into the mid-2000s, Toyota was operating at a level that few manufacturers could match. Toward the end of the 2000s and into the early 2010, there was a noticeable decline. Quality dipped, costs rose. Yet interestingly, complaints remained limited. Around 2012 and 2013, quality began to improve again, but it never fully returned to the standards set in the earlier decades. Rising costs, competition, and where quality changed. There are clear reasons Toyota never returned to its old peak. Vehicle prices increased. Material costs climbed sharply. Building a car today to the same standard as a 1990s Toyota would require pricing that most buyers wouldn't accept. To remain competitive, compromises were made. The most noticeable changes appeared in the areas drivers touch and see: interiors, finishes, and materials. To some buyers, those details matter more than anything else. What's important to understand is that Toyota largely preserves strength in the critical mechanical components, even if some visible quality declined. Maintenance habits and the owner expectation problem. At the same time, something else changed. Toyota owners became accustomed to neglect. Older Toyotas survived, skipped maintenance because they were designed to tolerate it. That design philosophy gradually disappeared in the late 2000s and 2010s. Owners, however, didn't change their habits. The mindset of "it's a Toyota, it'll be fine" carried forward into vehicles that no longer supported that level of neglect. As problems appeared, the narrative shifted to "Toyota quality is going down," even though the real issue was a mismatch between old habits and new engineering. After 2019, the image shift begins. Following the global changes around 2019 and 2020, Toyota accelerated a transformation that had already begun. The brand wanted to move away from being known as boring transportation. The goal became clear: keep reliability, but add excitement. Toyota aimed to evolve from simple A to B vehicles into cars that felt engaging and modern. That shift wasn't easy. Excitement was never part of Toyota's core identity, and experimenting outside that comfort zone introduced new challenges. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Toyota's culture and why gimmicks appeared. Toyota is a company that listens closely to public opinion. Online criticism matters internally. When enough people complained that Toyota cars lacked personality, the company responded. Designs improved, handling sharpened, driving feel became more engaging. In many ways, Toyota succeeded. Cars gained character and stopped feeling like anonymous machines. But that success came with a side effect: features for the sake of features. Gimmicks entered the lineup, and those gimmicks added complexity that Toyota had historically avoided. Features, complexity, and the cost of modern cars. Most people enjoy new features, at least initially. The problem is that many of them are turned off or ignored shortly after purchase. But the components behind those features never disappear. As vehicles add more systems, the chances of something failing increase. That's not opinion, it's mechanical reality. A car without a component cannot fail in that area. A car with multiple non-essential systems introduces multiple new failure points. This simple truth explains why modern vehicles are more expensive and why repairs are costlier than ever. Why prices keep climbing. Cars cost more today because drivers want convenience and tech, not just transportation. A truly basic car with manual windows, no touchscreen, and no driver aids might be cheaper, but most buyers would reject it instantly. Features like Apple CarPlay, radar cruise control, cameras, lane systems, keyless access, and electronic steering require extra sensors, modules, wiring, calibration, and software updates. That raises the sticker price and increases repair costs later. Toyota didn't start the trend, but it plays the game now. The last 2 years in online noise. If you scan forums, social media, and comment sections today, the tone feels extreme. Toyota is portrayed as collapsing, unreliable, and living on borrowed time. But when the noise is broken down, a clear pattern appears. The overwhelming majority of complaints concentrate on two vehicles, the Tundra and the Tacoma. Both are high-visibility trucks with passionate owners and heavy online engagement. Meanwhile, Toyota's core high-volume models, Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, and Sienna, continue selling in massive numbers, often with waiting lists. Issues exist, but they don't dominate headlines the same way. The truck community effect. Truck owners tend to be some of the loudest and most opinionated voices in the automotive space. They demand towing power, durability, comfort, and value all at once, and they aren't shy about sharing dissatisfaction. Many are also quick to switch brands if expectations aren't met. This combination amplifies problems rapidly online. While their complaints can be valid, the volume often distorts reality, allowing one troubled platform to overshadow an otherwise stable and reliable lineup. The Tundra across generations. The Tundra story captures much of the frustration surrounding Toyota today. When the first-generation Tundra replaced the T100, it was criticized for being too small, underpowered, and not truck enough for the American market. Toyota responded by going bigger and bolder with the second generation, but that truck launched during a period when overall quality across the industry, including Toyota, had dipped. Owners complained about cheap interiors, fit and finish issues, and long-term durability concerns. Over time, Toyota refined it, and satisfaction improved until new criticisms surfaced. Poor fuel economy, a stiff ride, limited comfort, and lack of versatility as a daily family vehicle. By the time the third-generation Tundra arrived, Toyota tried to address every complaint at once. The truck became highly advanced, with new powertrains, more technology, and better capability on paper. But that leap in complexity introduced new failure points, and when problems appeared, they appeared loudly, reinforcing the perception that something had gone wrong. The bigger picture beyond trucks. Here's the critical reality check. If Toyota quality were truly collapsing across the board, it would show up everywhere. Yet models like the RAV4, Camry, Corolla, Highlander, and Sienna continue to sell in massive volumes. In many markets, buyers still wait months for delivery. These vehicles aren't immune to issues, but they aren't generating the same level of controversy. That gap between online outrage and real-world demand highlights an important truth. Visibility and volume of discussion often matter more than the actual scale of the problem. The real problem Toyota faces. Toyota hasn't stopped caring about durability or reputation. What it's facing instead is a convergence of rising customer expectations, increasing vehicle complexity, and rapidly climbing prices. When problems do occur, Toyota's responses still reflect its traditional culture: expensive frame replacements, broad engine replacements, and extended support programs are not the actions of a company cutting corners. That underlying philosophy, often referred to as the Toyota way, is still present. The challenge is whether it can coexist with today's pricing, technology demands, and consumer expectations without eroding trust. Growing pains, gimmicks, and buyer mismatch. Toyota is clearly in a transitional phase, and transitions are rarely smooth. In the effort to move away from the boring but reliable label, Toyota has layered its vehicles with technology intended to make them feel modern, competitive, and exciting. The problem is that this shift doesn't align perfectly with Toyota's core customer base. Historically, Toyota buyers valued longevity, predictability, and low-stress ownership above all else. They wanted a car that worked every day with minimal drama. A few modern comforts were welcome, but excessive digital systems and feature overload were never part of the appeal. As Toyota chases new buyers, longtime customers feel left behind. True base models are becoming harder to find. Entry prices continue to rise. Features that were once optional are now bundled into higher trims. For buyers who simply want dependable transportation, this creates frustration. The mismatch between what Toyota is building and what its traditional audience expects fuels much of the dissatisfaction seen today. Pricing and dealership damage. Pricing has become Toyota's most serious vulnerability. Vehicles that once dominated the value segment are now priced close to premium competitors. While inflation and regulation play a role, Toyota has also leaned heavily into technology and features that drive costs upward. Dealership behavior has intensified the problem. Market adjustments, limited inventory pricing, and inconsistent dealer practices have left many buyers feeling taken advantage of. Toyota built its reputation on trust and honesty. When buyers feel exploited at the point of sale, that reputation erodes quickly. Even a reliable vehicle struggles to overcome the perception of unfair pricing. Once consumers begin questioning whether Toyota still represents value, brand loyalty weakens, and that damage is far harder to repair than a mechanical issue. Reliability isn't the main threat. From a technical standpoint, Toyota's reliability has not collapsed. Engines, transmissions, and core systems are still engineered with longevity in mind. What has changed is tolerance. Modern Toyotas operate with tighter tolerances, higher temperatures, thinner fluids, and more electronic oversight. They are far less forgiving of neglect, missed services, or incorrect maintenance. The greater threat lies in expectation. Many buyers still believe Toyota vehicles will survive anything, just like older models did. When that belief collides with modern design realities, especially at higher prices, disappointment follows. If Toyota continues raising prices without clearly resetting expectations, it risks alienating the very buyers who built the brand. Maintenance, the uncomfortable truth. Toyota vehicles have never been truly low maintenance. They've always required regular care to deliver exceptional longevity. Older models simply hid the consequences of neglect better. Newer vehicles do not. Marketing language around extended service intervals, lifetime fluids, and minimal maintenance creates a dangerous illusion. These recommendations often prioritize ownership cost perception, not maximum lifespan. When modern Toyotas are maintained conservatively, shorter oil intervals, regular fluid services, careful attention to cooling and drivetrain systems, they still perform exceptionally well over the long term. When they are treated as maintenance-free appliances, problems surface earlier and more expensively. The vehicle didn't change its needs. The messaging around those needs did. Why old Toyotas still exist? The reason older Toyotas remain on the road decades later isn't magic engineering, it's disciplined ownership. Owners in the past accepted maintenance as part of the deal. They replaced fluids early. They addressed wear before it became a failure. That mindset allowed vehicles to last 20 or 30 years. Today, Many owners aim to minimize maintenance costs and maximize convenience. When failures occur, the vehicle is blamed rather than the approach to ownership. Technology didn't eliminate mechanical wear, it simply delayed obvious symptoms. The fundamentals of engines, transmissions, and moving parts remain unchanged. Final perspective for buyers. Toyota is not falling apart across its lineup. It is evolving under modern pressures, sometimes awkwardly. Buyers who approach Toyota ownership with clear expectations, select proven powertrains, avoid platforms that change everything at once, and commit to proper maintenance can still expect long service life. The Toyota badge alone no longer guarantees forgiveness, but the underlying recipe for durability remains intact for those willing to follow it. If you're enjoying this video, consider watching the next one, where I'm sharing about that one Toyota sensor you must clean.